I moved to Chicago from Iowa 12 years ago to become a famous comedian. I went there to go to Second City and become an improviser, and ultimately come here to New York and be on Saturday Night Live. So unfortunately, this is as close as I think I'm going to get. And I literally am live from New York. It's Mike Dwyer at the LinkedIn event. Thank you. Oh, thanks for that. Thanks for that. About 4 years ago, I started working for a social media ad agency called the Zocalo Group, which is, at the time, was the only social media agency in Omnicom, which is a huge media holding company with about 170 agencies in there. And we were going in and talking to CMOs of companies about this social media thing and telling them that they needed to get on board with this, and they were like, it's a fad. It's not going to go anywhere. So, now it's in every commercial you see on television. Follow us on Twitter. Join our Facebook page. So it's been really exciting, and that really was basically the moment where I completely lost it. I've been on LinkedIn since 2006, but I joined Twitter in 2008, and it's just been, it's completely changed my life in a lot of ways. And I'm really a relationship seller, and I think that I was very excited about LinkedIn and social media specifically and how it can become used as something to kind of shorten that relationship cycle. So today, I'm going to talk a little bit about the history of social media and where we're at and how fast it's happened, and then we're going to talk a little bit about what's going on in your industry. And then we're going to talk a little bit about how you actually can do this and simplified in some very, very easy ways. So with that being said, let's jump in. So Seth Godin is kind of a hero of mine. He's a guru in social media, and this quote, which you can barely read, is really how I interact every day and how I view social media and how I view my role in sales. Many of us are taught to do our best and then let the world decide how to judge us. I think it's better to do your best and decide how you want to be judged and act that way. And when you're in social media and when you're using social media to engage your target audiences, you have to be confident in who you are, tap into your passion for the business, and the fact that you are helping your clients and you're solving their problems. And be confident in that because you are talking in a public way when you're using social media. So I'm going to take you back in time. Actually, this is too far. This is the Big Bang. Okay, still probably a little too far. Here we go. All right, the early 90s, the advent of the internet. And this is really when we changed from being marketed to in a broadcast way to enabling people through the internet to get information that was specific to them, that they were interested in knowing about, sharing information. And it was the beginning of companies having to change how they were communicating with customers. And it's something that has continued on. Obviously, now, as of 2011, 80% of the American population is using the internet, has access to it at home. So, we kind of come up to where we're at now, today, and really social media. So this is the official definition of social media, I guess. Talking about integrating technology, social interaction, but really what it's about are people having conversations, and it's a two-way dialogue. Companies want to have that conversation with their customers because that's what their customers demand. The same is to be said in the B2B world. So it's not just something where we're really saying that, that's the consumer end, because your clients are people too. And why not engage them where they're already living, where they're already getting information, where they're sharing information. And then my Twitter handle is Cruiter, and that's at CRUITER. So this is just a small sample of all the social channels that are out there today. And so what we're going to be doing today is we're going to be talking about, not these, but just these. I like to call this the holy trinity of social media, especially in the B2B space, and that being LinkedIn, Facebook, and Twitter. Now, something that I am seeing more and more of when I'm talking to senior marketing executives is the power of video. And so YouTube, I think, is something that also should be in here. It just doesn't sound as good as the Holy Trinity, and it doesn't add in the graphic. So, but YouTube, thinking about video and how you can use that is something I think that's very powerful to people when you see the statistic up there of YouTube being the second most used search engine. So customer acquisition by channel from HubSpot. LinkedIn on the B2B side, obviously, is basically running the show here. Next is company blogs, Facebook, and Twitter. There are 800 million people on Facebook. So when you think about all of these channels and how fantastic they are, I think that people need to also think of these places where they traditionally think of maybe it's just very personal, when there actually could be a lot of opportunity out there. So really thinking about, and what we're going to talk about today is a very integrated approach to social business development. When I'm talking to you about doing more and adding in using social media along with all the other stuff you're doing, it sounds like there's just no way. And I mean, is this what your watch looks like? Is it just spiraling? There's no time, Mike. I'm not going to be able to do all this stuff. So what I want to talk to you about today is how to do this, how to simplify it and start integrating it into your day-to-day activity. And it's been something that's been incredibly helpful for me in how I've done business and how I've met new clients and how I've grown relationships with existing clients. And at times, yes, in finding new jobs. This is one of the most important slides, and it's very wordy, and I apologize, but I had to get so much on there. This is one of the most important slides as far as how you start developing your own personal brand in thinking about how to use social media, how to use LinkedIn, Twitter, Facebook, even YouTube, all these other channels to engage your target audience. So really, the number one thing is, what do you own in the marketplace? What separates you from your competition? What does your company own in the marketplace? How do those two things, how does what you own and your company own work together? Are there any things that are similar between the two? But really, what is something that separates you? What do you put on your LinkedIn profile that's that sentence underneath your name? I'm passionate about new media, recruitment, HR, and marketing, and social media. So those are my areas of focus. And my differentiator is that I have a strong understanding of the HR space and marketing. And I like to really talk about bringing those two things together. So that's what differentiates me from a lot of other folks. What is yours? Then who is your target audience? I put on here CMOs. When I was at Paladin, our target audience were marketers, senior marketing executives. So I was looking at CMOs, directors of marketing. Obviously, you have your talent acquisition folks, your recruiters, lead decision makers. A lot of times we look in the staffing industry for the hiring managers as opposed to talking to the recruiters. So those folks are all online. And then how are you going to engage them? Are you going to use Twitter? Are you going to use LinkedIn? Are you thinking about creating a Facebook page? If not, you should be. Are you going to do some YouTube videos, considering it's the second most used search engine in the world? Are you going to start a blog for yourself, talking about your expertise and what you're passionate about, linking these things together? So really, before you even start using these channels, I think you have to really think about this. What separates you from the marketplace? Who is your target audience? And how are you going to engage them? So this is how I really simplified this. All right, we've all either watched on TV or actually done this. We've fishing, working out, and partying. So everyone knows what these things are? You do? Okay, good. So basically, these are the concepts that I talk to my clients about when it comes to how to take their engagement, their ownable position, who their target audience is, and engaging these audiences using this kind of concept of these three things. Now, phishing is really how you research your influencers online. Once you've determined what your ownable position is and who your target audience is, you need to find these folks online. Now, this guy is working out a lot. He's pretty successful at it, and mildly successful as a governor. So this whole concept is, if you're ever working out and you're exercising and maybe you're doing it for a couple months, it's a behavior, and then all of a sudden you stop doing it and you start feeling really guilty, and you feel like you've wasted all of that time exercising, right? That's the level of what I think you have to get to when you're starting to engage using social media, is thinking about it as a workout. And this also helps manage your time on this. This is something that, just like a workout, should be at the beginning of your day, at the end of your day, but consistent. And so it's really how I think about it. and the work that I've put into it, I feel like if I stop doing it, it's all for naught. When you go to a party and you're invited in, you're asked, you come into a house, there's music, there's drinks, there's food. There could be other things there, and it's a lot. There's a lot going on, right? And you're having a good time. Now, if you went into a house where they were invited to a party and it was all white walls, there's no pictures of anybody around, there's no music going, there's no food, there's no drinks, you're going to turn around, walk out of there, and you're definitely not going to come back, and you're not going to tell anybody else about that party because it totally sucked. So I think that when you think about creating, you're using LinkedIn, using Twitter, using Facebook, you're inviting people to a party. Now, when you have a call with a new client, and I guarantee you, we all Google everyone that we're talking to, and that goes for internal as well. If you're in a large organization, you're trying to cross-sell. Even then, people are Googling you to see what you're about. They're looking at your LinkedIn profile. What are they going to see? And do you think that's going to make any impact on how they're going to engage with you? And I guarantee you it does. And so are you decorating your house for this party that you're inviting people to that's going to keep them there and keep them engaged? There's so many things that, I know when I first started in staffing at Randstad, and the manager was teaching me about sales, and he's like, when you go into an office, you sit down at the desk and you look around and you see if do they have any pictures on their desk? Is there anything you can relate with them about? Do they have a kid, or is there a picture of them fishing? And just things that you can have in common with them. Well, of course, you always want to do that, but now you can also do that online. Oftentimes people connect their Twitter handles to their LinkedIn profile. You can see, I've had clients that are beer aficionados. I found that out on their Twitter profile. And I started having that conversation with them once we connected to have that initial call. Also, the kind of content that I post and what I'm passionate about, when they see that content on my LinkedIn updates, or if they follow me on Twitter, I have created the appearance of me being someone who's an expert in what I do. If you need to find me, you can just Google me. I'm the #1 search for Mike Dwyer on Google through a lot of hard work, and it's my LinkedIn profile is it. So LinkedIn, you're welcome for the SEO there, but that's the best way to find me is just to Google my name. So that's it.